The mom goes, "Hey, like, do you do lighting?" And I'm like,
Sure.
"Yes, I do it." She's like, "Oh, do you do draping?" Oh,
Absolutely.
absolutely.
Specialist in draping.
I'm like,
You have no draping or no lighting.
bro, I had none of this stuff. I had none of this stuff. But as a logistic person, you know that you should have a toolbox every time you go to the event. Always better to have than not to have.
We'll call that the oh shit box.
The oh shit box. I have the oh shit box. I have the oh shit car. Like in my car,
The oh shit Uber driver.
the oh shit. Oh my god! Don't say, oh, I'm not gonna be able to do that, or not have that negativity. Because there's always gonna happen. Like I can ask you, how many times have you failed from where you're at now that you're able to figure it out? I'm gonna say it from the beginning. Don't be cheap.
Okay.
Don't be cheap. You know, I can do something that you can do, and you can do something that I can do.
This is Rock Talk, where we document short conversations with experienced people in the Rockwell ecosystem. We're at our HQ, and today we're with a homie of mine, many years, I'd say decades. Somebody that met me in my B Money Brian B promoter stage and has grown to still work with me till this day. Owner of MPE Event Group and founder of Fuego Productionz and Design. Working some massive events in the corporate and private event world, as well as celebrity-based events, which we'll get into, including people such as Travis Scott, Rick Ross, DJ Khaled, Missy Elliott, Logan Paul, Mayweather, and more. Yes. Mario, welcome to the show, man.
Thank you for having me, my brother. It's been a long time.
Long time.
You know, we crashed, always seeing each other in different events and stuff, but now we're here, back at it again from the root.
Yes.
Obviously, when I first met you, it was Cool Kids.
Oh, man. Okay.
I don't know if you still remember that.
Yes, hell yeah, I do.
And that was just kind of
I still have the bow tie.
You do?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Those are good times, obviously fun times, I like to call it.
Yes.
And, it was a great experience, obviously learning how to DJ the nightlife world and obviously giving us the opportunity.
Yes.
I don't know if you remember, we used to be like your photo and camera team.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. And now you're doing it for mega stages and,
man.
A lot beyond that. And we're going to dive into all of that.
100%.
I want to spend a lot of time talking about the event production world,
100%.
Right? You being the specialist here with that and our first guest in that world.
Yes.
So purposely, I wanted it to be a home team, guy.
I'll give you.
But first, I want to start with DJ Fuego. All right, we met. You were DJing all the clubs for our age group, all the popping parties at that stage here in Miami. So let's get started right there. Back then, basically, you were either a DJ or a promoter, and then indirectly, people kind of converted to the other, right? So I want to know, what were you first? Were you somebody that was promoting parties and then got into DJing, or were you somebody that were DJing and then started promoting to bring people to your parties?
Correct. So I was a DJ.
Okay.
This all started when I was younger. There was a grand opening. We have a martial arts academy, and my family hired a DJ, and it was one of those things that they bring those cassette.
Okay.
And I was I call it a slot machine.
Sure.
And I was like, bro, this is so cool. I want to do that. And then started getting older, and then I met my best friend, my brother, Miko.
Okay.
DJ
And
Miko.
what age are you?
This was 16, 17.
Sweet. Okay.
16, 17. He, at that time, in high school, was the only kid on the block to have CDJs 800s.
Okay.
And
dinosaurs.
Yeah. and Serato. And
Okay.
I was like, bro, this is so cool, because I've seen the CD, obviously the CD and
Right.
all that stuff. So I'm like, yes, exactly. So then I became his best friend, and I go, yo, I want to learn how to DJ. This was always been a thing for me to learn this art. And he was like, yo, just come to my house, and his mom was, obviously, I loved his mom, very inviting. Every time I go to his house, she'll make us food.
Nice.
And we'll be till 1, 2 in the morning just playing music. And then I met the rest of the team. So this is called the Spin Boys. The Spin Boys.
Okay.
Spin Boys back in the day
was
a group of team from every school. So I was Braddock, Miko and me were Braddock, and DJ Niz. DJ Glaze and Andy Syke was from Doral. We had Hypnotic
Okay.
from Southwest, Royale from I think LaSalle.
Yep.
So we created like a DJ team, and then that DJ team we started kind of doing like the all ages, and we started like doing more clubs, 18 and over, and then I liked it and I loved it, but then it was to a point that I was always like the third wheel. I was always the
Okay.
and then I saw that for you to make it into the 18 and over, you had to bring people.
Correct.
So then I started becoming like the promoter and the DJ slash promoter to answer that
Now
question.
all of a sudden you became the number one because all the venues wanted that.
Correct. So
Yeah,
then the more people you brought, the more headlining. So what kind of gave me like, to skip all that, my boy DJ C,
Okay.
he heard me DJing
boy.
and he's like, bro, like you're a phenomenal DJ. Like I want you to be our opening DJ for our Latin. And I'm like, oh shit. And then
Is this Allure? In
No,
that type of years?
Allure, Mecca,
Okay.
Mechanism, whatever you want to call it.
Yeah, it was Mecca, but they all had different rooms,
Correct.
names for the rooms and all that.
Correct. So we were in that room and DJC is like, bro, I want you to be my opening DJ. Like, you know what you're doing. And then he introduced me to Nico Calor. I don't know if you
Okay,
know Nico
yes.
Calor.
Damn, I haven't heard these names in 2 decades, man. I love that.
And bro, he introduced me to him and he's like, bro, this kid is good. Like, we want him to DJ. Like, we want him to open up and hopefully we can build this group. So then I was bringing, bro, easily like 200, like 150 people per night. But then, bro, I would never get paid for this stuff. And I was like, whoa, like, what?
How does this work?
How does this work? So then I don't want to obviously bash names with their promotion company or whatever, but
Yeah, it's part of learning too. At the end of the day, right? You started asking questions because you needed to learn how does this all go around, and then you were able to grow in the industry because of that. And not saying that you paid it forward and did the same thing to the next wave, right? But you
100%.
were able to put yourself in a great position by learning all this.
100%. And then once I kind of learned the trade of the nightlife and how that works, I'm like, nah, screw this. I'm gonna start throwing my own parties. And then obviously
Exactly.
my Spin Boys team and obviously my DJs, we started doing like young, we're like, you know, all ages, and then we started doing the 18 and over. Do you know Café Cristal? Do you remember Café Cristal?
Of course. Is that 107 in Sunset?
Yes,
Yes,
exactly. So then we did our first party there with a good friend of mine, Fusto. I forgot his whatever his promotion, because there were so many promotional teams back
Yeah,
then.
everybody had one.
I party, bro, so
And that's
many.
your generation. Right before you,
Yeah.
there was like 15 other ones. And right before that, there were kind of like the 3 or 4 OGs that kind of started this whole movement in Miami. So
Correct. So then I did my first Burn It Up.
Okay.
Burn It Up event, and we did that, and we're like, bro, we just made like, let's say $1,000. Like, yo, we
And
can.
at that age, that is like $1.7 million, right? And you made it partying.
I wish I would have, invested in Bitcoin at that time.
Right.
but- So, bro, we did our first event and it was successful. Like, whoa, we packed this whole place up. So then we did Burn It Up 2.
Okay.
And at that Burn It Up 2, we got like talent, we got like special effects, we got DJ Last to be like the main DJ and stuff. And then, bro, everything was going great. I saw kind of like the mindset of an entrepreneur, like, why work for someone when you can be your own boss?
Absolutely.
And that went great until obviously you get older and you're like, oh, you know what? Like this is
Now
not-
what?
Exactly.
Now what?
What's
So
the next step?
before going to the next step, I have one question about
for it.
the DJ world, which is like, to you, what is the definition of a DJ? What does that mean? You know?
For me, there's a lot of meanings, because I've been doing it for so many years. But for me, DJing,
I'm sure it's evolved too, right? You started with a meaning and it's evolved. And
exactly. It's more of creating a vibe or an experience, or kind of
Okay.
creating some type of, like, I call it experience because not for my slogan, it's not just an event, it's an experience.
Okay.
Because when I DJ, I'm not just playing music, I'm not pressing buttons. I'm actually creating kind of like a memory.
Absolutely.
Especially like what I do a lot is weddings now. It's like I do a lot of events, corporate events and stuff. And at the end of the night, my, like, you know how they tip you at the end of the night?
Right.
My tip or my like awe is like, oh, you're dope. Like, I love this remix, or I love this. And I love the feedback, and I love the customer service, and I love the reviews. So that's what's obviously right now, like, I'm not DJing anymore. I'm trying to, like, hang up the trench coat, whatever,
Sure.
hang up the thing. But that always pulls me back. Like, then it's like, yo, like, damn, you were so good. And I'm not a phenomenal DJ. I'm just really good at obviously packing the dance floor and kind of keeping the crowd like what they want. I want to say I'm a mind reader.
Yeah, a people pleaser.
I'm a people pleaser, and I can kind of like I've done every way you can think of. The craziest one I've done is Lebanese and African American, like two different freaking cultures. Like what do you play
in the same room?
In the same
room.
So
one side of the family was one side of the family was the other.
Crazy, brother.
Good luck.
That was like one of the funnest weddings I've done. Is because you have the Lebanese family that are like they want the all that crazy stuff. And then you have obviously the African American side, but they were from Cali. They were I always forget the genre of music they wanted, but it was like not ghetto, but it was like cool ghetto. Like it was super like dope. It was it was vibey. Like I'll get you the name of the artist.
Awesome.
But that was fun, man. So yeah.
You started DJing 16, 17.
Correct.
You started DJing, transitioning into events like in 22?
I want to say 21, 22.
21, 22.
I was like 22 years old, and I can give you the perfect day. I was like, yo, this is for me.
Really? Was it a specific event or was it a specific thing that happened?
No, it was a specific event.
Nice.
I was DJing at 15.
Okay.
And the mom goes, hey, like, do you do lighting? And I'm like,
sure.
Yes, I do it. She's like, oh, do you do draping? Oh,
absolutely.
Absolutely.
Specialist in draping.
I'm like,
you have no draping or no lighting.
Bro, I had none of this stuff. I had none of this stuff. So thankfully, I had 8 months to prepare.
Got it.
So I started doing my research, seeing how much it costs, trying to like call different event companies. Like I didn't know anyone. Like the only person I know was Mickey Mouse, Pepe Diaz, or not Pepe Diaz.
I don't know names, but yeah, I get what you mean.
Mickey Mouse
Pepito.
Company, Pepito. And I start calling people, and they're like, "Oh, I want to run a mover light." And these were the mover lights back in the days. Like they weren't like actual mover. These were like if you ever went to like oh my god, like Cafe Cristal, where like the robot with the glass and the mirror.
Got it. I know exactly what you're talking about.
These were like they're called intimidators at the time. It was so bad, like really, really terrible. So I sold this dream to the couple, to the client, for the quinceañera. And bro, I was sweating bullets. I was like, the lights weren't working. They weren't charged. Like,
where's the power cable?
Bro, the mover like was doing its own thing. She wanted something slow in the beginning, and it was just like, moving crazy. So I'm like, fuck, what do I do?
You're right.
So I started improvising. So then the light, I was able to find the color that she wanted. She wanted like a hot pink color. Okay. So I got that. When the movers, I told the client, look, I'm gonna disconnect it for now, but when the party starts, it's gonna do like some crazy like rave party. And she's like, oh, that's perfect.
What a good idea.
And then she threw a curveball a week before the event, and she's like, oh, I want to project a slide thing.
Oof.
So I'm like, oh, perfect. There's white drape. I went to Best Buy. I bought myself a projector and just put it on a table. But then the day of the event, I didn't know that the stupid video had audio. So I'm like, what do I do? I grabbed one of my speakers. I put it like on the presentation, like
next to the table.
Next to the table. I grabbed a microphone and it worked. And I was like, wow, like I can do this. And then at the end of the night, bro, I was charging like, I want to say like $2,000.
Yeah, and again, back then, which is like $5 million today.
And she gives me the check of $2,000. She's like, Fuego, great job, phenomenal work. Like, I'm gonna recommend you to everyone.
There'll be more of these.
And I found out that her daughter goes to Carrollton.
Okay, lots of friends, all turning 15.
So I'm like, whoa, and my eyes went like, I was like, ka-ching, like like the cartoon.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
I was like, bro, this is for me. And obviously I got out of the nightlife and I really went heavy into the nightlife. With that money, I invested in more professional equipment. I started with the uplighting, then I got better sound. I had PVs.
Okay.
PVs like
they don't exist anymore.
I bought those PVs. You want to hear a funny story? From my boy CX.
Okay.
At that time, and then he had those PVs. Like, yo, I'm gonna get some Mackies, and like for you to have Mackies, like you were like,
no, you were doing it.
You were doing it.
You were that guy.
You were that guy. And bro, I upgraded my speakers. I got some QSCs. And then I got some movers. Like, bro,
you're ready to go at that point.
I was ready to go, and then
we're gonna dive more into that. Before we do, I want to ask, like, this is a struggle
100%.
that DJs go through.
100%.
Nightclubs are cool.
It is.
Parties are forward facing. You're the life of it. if you're single, it never hurts, right? You're the guy, right?
That's another topic.
And now to go from that to you're the guy in the corner at a wedding or the quinces, what is that transition like as a DJ? Obviously, the payouts are better, the experience is better. If you have an entrepreneur mindset, it's a lot more fulfilling, I would say,
easier.
right? It's
It's
transactional, it's a business.
Correct.
But as a DJ, just wearing the DJ hat, what are some of those struggles you went through at that time?
So the first struggle is how obviously learning the trade of the event industry world.
Okay, it's different.
It's a lot stressful.
Yes.
One, because you're not going to the clubs with a laptop and an USB, and then you're playing.
And if something doesn't work, it's call the IT guy or tell the manager something's not working at the wedding. Everyone's looking at you and you're looking at them and they're looking at you and you're looking at them.
Man, I'll tell you stories on just like brief stories on that. But and that will be kind of like my opening to the wedding industry.
Okay.
Because that is my bread and butter right now. But the transition from obviously the nightclub DJ to event industry was very difficult because you're used to in the nightclub going there and playing for whatever you think the
Sure.
crowd is gonna like, you know, and that's always dope because you're playing obviously for yourself. Honestly, I always thought as a DJ in a nightclub, I can play whatever you want or whatever I want, and then the crowd's gonna be like, "Oh, damn, this is dope, and this is cool." It's actually the complete opposite in the event industry because now you gotta cater to the client, or like I say right now, you gotta cater to the bride and groom or to the couples.
Sure.
What helped me is there's different branches of DJing. There's the nightclub DJ, there's the event industry DJs, and then you have the banquet hall DJs.
Okay.
You don't want to be the banquet hall DJs. So I actually use the nightlife or the nightclub DJing to kind of give me a stepping stone to into the event industry because now the people that are getting married are younger, and they don't want, you know,
The cha-cha slide and
Correct.
whatever. They
So-
want a more dancey type of wedding, almost like a nightclub for their group.
So the biggest story that I always remember is the bride and groom was like, "Bro, thank God I hired you because my sister's DJ, right? I asked him for Drake and he was like, "Can it Drake?"
Uh-oh, big trouble. Yeah.
And she was like, "The best investment, the best decision I ever made." And I was like, "Shit, like I can do this now. I can start bringing the nightlife into the wedding industry and I can actually make it cool." Because back in, obviously, you know, from the Spin Boys team, they thought I was crazy. They're
Right.
like, "Bro, like, what are you doing? Like, you know, you have a thing going in the nightlife, you can make it, you know." But then I was already thinking long term. I was like, damn, am I gonna see myself 40, 50 years old DJing at Mecca? Mecca doesn't exist anymore. Space, you know, and so I was like, I was already thinking long term, and I was like, man, I can really do this, and I can kind of create some type of brand or some type of market into this. And I started doing that, and then I did my first wedding.
Okay.
Here's the shit show again. And I was like, fuck, screw me. Sorry, you can cut that out.
No, yeah, you're good. We can be ourselves.
So I will never forget my first wedding, Curtis Mansion, and I will say the planner because she's like my sister, my best friend, Sally Events.
Okay.
And her husband, it was in the promoting industry, and Eli, and he was like, "Yo, I know this DJ." She introduced me to Sally, and then from Sally, I started doing my first weddings, like our first thing. So Curtis Mansion, if you've ever been to Curtis Mansion before, it's right next to the airport.
Okay. All your wireless stuff worked amazing, I'm sure.
So mind you, I set up my DJ system here, and 5 feet away was the altar, and the officiant at the time was, you know, doing the speeches, and all of a sudden, like everything was going smooth the first 5 minutes, and I think it was an aircraft or something passing, a UFO or whatever. It was like, and bro, you see me in the corner sweating.
Yeah.
And it was like the bride and
Built
groom
tough.
special day, and like the microphones are cutting off, and I'm like, oh my God, what I do? Thankfully, you know, that I was always a problem solver. I grabbed my bag, I grabbed a cable and XLR, I tapped it into the thing, and I went to the officiant and go, "Here you go." And the last 10 minutes went smooth.
Nice.
Out of the 30 minutes,
Which by the way, they forget the first 20. As long as you have those 10 minutes that went smooth,
oh no,
everyone kind of forgets that it went well.
it gets worse.
Oh God.
It gets worse. So whatever, ceremony, you know, somewhat saved it. We go into cocktail. She decides to put me the cocktail upstairs. But then from the second floor to the downstairs was all like the first dance or introductions and all that stuff. So when I put the speakers, no one could hear downstairs.
Of course.
Wrong in the train and all that
Oh
stuff.
my goodness.
So whatever, I made the best of it. You know, I was leaning my speaker. Thankfully, the speaker didn't fall over the staircase or the roof and then kill anyone. Then you would have been like, Channel 7 News, you know,
Right,
DJ
right.
Fuego is in Candela.
Yes.
Um,
DJ Fuego is burning.
bro, and I'm here on my laptop on a MacBook Pro, and I'm about to play. The first dance went smooth, everything went, and then comes the father and daughter dance. The computer shuts down on me.
No.
So I'm like, fuck. So then they're dancing, and it like the song or typically first dances are 2 minutes and 3 minutes, whatever. So I'm trying to restart my computer, seeing what's happening. Bro, I didn't want to turn on. So then the dad comes up to me, right, and goes, listen, you're already ruining my daughter's wedding. Ceremony went terrible. Fallen daughter. Like, you better make sure that these people dance. I'm like,
Thanks. No pressure.
no pressure, brother. So finally, they put me. So then the other part was like, obviously you learn. Ceremony was outside. So I had one DJ. So I had to run that speaker,
Oh boy.
go to cocktail and set up that same speaker. Then I had to do the same thing again and then run it into the party area. So the dad is waiting for me to connect my speakers. Like, oh, like, why is it taking so long? Like this is like,
And they don't understand because it's a different language though.
correct. And obviously you learn from your mistakes. And if you're not learning from your mistakes, like you don't become a better man or a better person growing into your trade or your craft. So I'm like, bro, I have 2 hours. I gotta kill this.
Yeah.
Bro, like dad came at the end. He goes, bro, you're a great phenomenal DJ. Tip me $200.
Nice.
I was like my biggest concern is that he was gonna talk smack. He was
Of
gonna write a
course.
review because for me, reviews is like gold, you know.
No, and in your world, I mean, that's what people look at. If they don't have an event planner that has worked with you in the past that is going to be some type of direct correlation, they want to
100%.
see what is your, just like if you were going to a restaurant, you would want to know what everybody's experience was.
And my planners are like my best friends or like my sisters.
Which you don't want to ruin that relationship either.
If you ruin that, you won't make it in the event industry world.
1,000%. They all talk to each other.
Correct. People say like Mario of Fuego, like why didn't you promote yourself? Like I don't DJ anymore. Like I try not to promote myself on Instagram. I don't know if you've seen that. I'm trying to push more Fuego production.
Right.
And
More business facing.
And people still hire me. They're like, yo, this is the DJ. Like if you want a wedding DJ, like here's your guy. Why? Because I've been doing it. I can do it with my eyes closed.
Sure. No, and now you've also problem solved so many
Oh, I can tell you stories
that they're gonna be fixed. So you've always been an entrepreneur. You haven't been a DJ, by the way, in case you haven't figured this out yet. But anyways, you later get to DJ this question is kind of strategic in the sense of that transition from nightclub to event.
Correct.
And typically, like your boys at Spin Boys, is very like, what are you doing? You're taking a step backwards, right? You're gonna be the dorky DJ, like you're not gonna be the cool DJ.
Correct.
But you later go on and you DJ in cities like New York, LA, New Orleans, etc., all through events. So I guess the question is, do you feel you would have gotten that opportunity to travel and play in other cities if you were the nightclub guy?
No, because the mentality back in the nightclub is they always wanted to invest money on the headliner DJs.
Right.
So and obviously I always had very, very strong kind of like love for local DJs because it's not fair, especially in Miami. Miami is a very difficult market.
Yep.
And it gets
And
me
a lot of talent.
it gets me upset. Like our team had one of the most talented DJs, and it sucks that out of all of us, maybe one of us or two of us made it, out of the,
Collective, yeah.
Yeah, eco. And obviously, I give my hat to the DJs in our circle that I called, I don't want to say names, that are still doing it at this time. I'm like, bro, you're like killing it, like keep doing it. Like just obviously always have a plan B.
Sure.
And I tell all my friends, my DJs, my brothers and all that, like, listen, you got to have a plan B because at the end of the day, you're not going to be 50 years old. Like obviously a good friend here, Paulie, and I call him Paulie. You're not going to be 50 years old DJing for, like he said, 21 years old. Like it's very awkward, especially that I have a kid now. I still DJ. Don't laugh. I still DJ for like middle school and high school parties, and they see me and they're like, "Oh my god,
Uncle."
Yeah, not uncle.
Uncle,
like,
grandfather.
That grandfather. And I still have that fire. I mean, that's where DJ Fuego came. Like, I love it. I love what I do, and it's fun. But you always got to be, prepare yourself for what's next. And if you're not that mentality, like, yes, you're entrepreneur. I always had the entrepreneur. Obviously coming in from a good friend of mine, DJ Les. He, me and him always had the same mentality. Like, hey, it's fun DJing the radio, but like,
¿Hasta cuándo?
hasta cuando. And
Yep.
I can name a bunch of DJs in the radio that are no longer doing that. He went obviously the entrepreneur side, and he loved what he did, and created into a business, and obviously he has his radio station right now. So obviously, big ups to him. So that's
Sure,
what-
but it's not getting comfortable or complacent with just being that person, that guy or that girl, and not letting the times kind of put you, like we were talking before the show, right? And the hamster in the wheel. Where before you know it, it's like, damn, it's been 15 years, and now I actually don't even have a plan. Like, what do I do?
Exactly. You're doing the same thing over and over, and in life you have to take a risk. And I always say this.
And evolve.
And evolve, and you can't be scared to jump out of your circle to see like what's next or what's around me. People always like a blind horse. They're always going in the same direction, and it kind of
And as fast as you can.
Yeah. But then at the end, you're in the same spot, in the same place. And then now you're 40, 50 years old, and you're like, okay, what did I do with my life?
And it's never too late to pivot or make a plan, but it would be a lot smoother if you knew the plan and you had all these years to kind of transition into it.
100%.
Versus wake up one day and be like, all right, what's next? Like,
Correct,
just put a little thought in what's next now while you're doing it. So
100%.
when you did that wedding, were you a company yet, or were you DJ Fuego that is now doing events?
So I was DJ Fuego,
Okay,
and I wanted to see where that would take me.
sure.
And then in 2015, 16,
Okay.
I had the brilliant idea. I met a good friend of mine.
Brilliant idea.
I had a brilliant idea. My good friend, obviously, like my father figure who introduced me to events, was Hector, Miami Premier Events.
Okay.
So then I met him, I met his wife, and he was at that time doing bounce house and catering.
Okay.
And he introduced me to the Milton family. The Milton family obviously are one of the most wealthiest, most into the architect, and they had money at that time. And at that time, I was DJing in a mansion.
Okay.
And I was like, bro, like I made it. This is me. Like, if I can do this every weekend, DJing in mansions, like, bro,
We figured it out.
exactly. Like, who can say this, right? And then I did my first New Year's party, right? In 2017, 16,
Still
17.
DJ Fuego.
DJ Fuego.
Okay. So what year, I want to hear about the New Year's party, but what year does MPE events start?
So 2016, branded, created. I had the brilliant idea with a good friend of mine, Hector. They're like, hey, you do the catering. I do the DJing. Like, bro, there's no DJing catering company. Name me one DJing catering company that you know.
No, it makes sense.
So I was like,
Because normally it's completely different type of people to do it,
correct.
right? Your specialties are like completely left and right. They're food and service and presentation, and then music, ambiance, experience.
100%. So I'm like, listen, I really want to involve into the production, into the lighting. I really want to, and you have your clients, I have my clients, I'm doing the weddings. So in my wedding industry, I can bring the catering. Like, bro, this is a win-win situation. Like, this is going to be like the 18, right?
The 18.
And then it was going well. Obviously, things happen. There's bump in the roads and stuff. And then I meet my colleague. I don't even want to, he's not even worth pronouncing his name, whatever. I meet, obviously, I'll just use first name. I met Eduardo, and he had a printing company.
Okay.
So that printing company was his father's. And I was like, oh man, like we can work together, we can collab. I paid him to do our logo and, invest into like the branding, because
It's more of the marketing piece.
the marketing piece. I was doing my events, he was doing his events and stuff. And then I was like, yo, this would be a great person to collab with.
For sakes of the understanding of the event world, because you and I know what you're talking about,
Correct.
but maybe someone listening doesn't.
Correct.
If I'm listening, I don't know what you're talking about. Why the hell does printing have to do with events?
And we'll get to that.
Okay, cool. So,
So he started doing the printing stuff, and he did more car wraps, flyers, business cards. And I was always the entrepreneur, but like, bro, we can do this in weddings. Like I was always like, hey, if I can bring a stilt walker to a wedding,
Right.
I can make money off him. Like I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna bring it. If I can bring a fire guy, I can bring a drummer. Like that was always my mentality. What more? What next? What more services can I offer to the clients? Obviously, to grow the event group industry. So that's why I created MP Event Group, because the catering, the DJing, and obviously the branding or the
What
printing.
did MPE stand for?
It never stand for anything.
Okay.
But it did come
Because Hector's company is MPE.
but yeah, exactly. So that's where we started at. We used that name, Miami Premier Events, because yes, he was obviously kind of like the backbone.
Got
but then
it.
I kind of used
experience.
that. Exactly. I used that because he was very heavy into events, that I was like, hey, let's create an event group company so we can all make money.
Got it.
But then kept stuff going, and obviously, he was in a different mentality. He was doing his own thing. I was doing my own things, and then obviously, kind of we fell off. We did some dope collaborations that I'll tell you now in a bit. And then the printing side, how I was trying to explain to you, our first floor wrap, I will never forget. If you ever been to the Pullman group, the Pullman Hotel, they have the most ugly. Sorry, they're gonna I hope they're not listening now. At that time they had.
You got to update your dance floor.
They had the most ugliest dance floor. It was like a caca brown, like it looked like
Scratched up.
It was terrible. And the bride at that time was Sally Evans. She calls me. She's like, "Hey, I need to cover this. What can we do?" I'm like,
Say less.
"Perfect. We can do an all-white floor wrap. We can do the client's monogram in the middle, and we can make it nicer. Because imagine everything is white, and then you have a
Shit brown floor.
So then I called Eddie. I'm like, Eddie, like, bro, we can do this. Like, let me know how much, you can charge us, the church client. And we did it. We did the first floor wrap. I have a video on it. It's on YouTube and everything. The bride was super happy. She's like, hey, can I record you saying like the customer service? And this was like maybe 2 weeks before the wedding.
Okay.
And she was super happy. I think her name was Lisette at the time. They're twins. So I'm like, obviously, I'm trying to
Left and right.
And bro, I was like, wow, like another service that we can add. So then I started collaborating more with Eddie, and I took MP and I ran with it. A lot of people thought MP stands for Miami, Mario plus something, whatever, Mario, whatever. So I didn't,
Mario plus Eduardo.
exactly.
That's
So,
funny. Okay, I have never thought of that one.
correct. But at the end of the day, I was mostly the founder and kind of like the creator behind MP Event Group. And then we did a lot of collaborations and we worked a lot. And obviously I give him his hat and stuff, because obviously in the event industry world, you need the entrepreneur. And I never had the entrepreneur. I had more of like fake it till you make it type of thing.
Sure.
Like, hey, like, yes, I can do this.
We can do this.
Yes, we can do this, And I was like, shit, how? So
Now, how do we do this?
I was more of the problem solver. Like, hey, how can I figure it out? But his family had a pretty
Mario, title, inventor.
mentor. Worse, they used to call me the Albert Einstein in events, but and then obviously his family were great to me. They take care of me, but then a lot of things happened. We started growing our business, and we never had legal terms of like. So with the legal terms, things got dirtier or messier, like I want to say it. And yes, I do say that me and him did kind of create this company together, but then I almost got like the short end of the stick.
Sure.
Because there's a lot about greediness, owing me a lot of money. And then obviously me had to do stuff because I had to I was getting paid, and I had to kind of react to oh man, what do I do to kind of save my family? Because at one point I had like $300 in my bank account.
Yeah, you gotta survive.
I have to survive. So if this is happening to me and it takes me 8 months to get paid, I'm a human, I'm a man, what do I have to do? And my daughter was born. I was like, you know what? And, we're going through legal battles now. And obviously at this point, I was like, you know what? Screw this. You do you do me. I do MP production. You can continue doing MP printing. Because I can't live like this. I can't work like this anymore. Customer service. And then obviously I open up Fuego Productionz.
Okay.
And then people was like, yo, who come up with this name? Because a lot of my clients can't even pronounce Fuego.
Okay.
So I'll be like, Fuego Productionz or Fire Productionz.
Figure it out. Call it whatever you want. Just call us.
So I actually use my DJ name, because in the event industry, you say DJ Fuego or Fuego, bro, everyone knows me.
And they've had good experiences. So automatically you'll give the company a good experience behind it, even if you have 0 reviews for in the beginning.
Correct. So I was able to use that to bounce back to kind of to create another company. I still use MP Event Group. I have One of my biggest clients for MP Event Group is Raising Cane's. So
Okay.
we do a
They're
lot
finally
of,
opening one next to my house. You know, I've
Yeah.
never tried it.
bro, phenomenal.
Yeah. I hear great things.
The sauce.
Especially me that I'm plain. So they're like, bro, if you like, you know, that's like literally your place.
Yeah, like KFC, nothing. Like,
Nothing.
Raising Cane's, KFC is like, it's terrible.
Don't touch my pollo tropical.
Yeah. Oh no, that's a different
Different league.
different league. So we do have some cool clients through MP Event Group that there's still loyalty. Like they still know that we kind of rebranded. But yeah, I do have those contracts with Raising Kings for like 5-6 years that I can't touch it, you know, just because we have a DJ team in Washington, like the branch in Washington, like in
Okay.
South Beach. There's actually, we provide the music or the entertainment in the Raising Kings. There's actually DJs Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday DJing at Raising Kings. So that's actually
On South Beach.
in South Beach.
No way. Okay.
So they're trying to do that more. We've done all their grand openings from Homestead was the first one, all the way to Jacksonville. We actually travel all the way to Jacksonville to do their events. We do their obviously upcoming events. So we're like, I want to say their in-house production and DJ. But they met us through MP Event Group when we created that company.
Nice. So yeah, through contract, that's what they're going to continue to refer it to. But their point of
Correct.
contact is Mario. So it is, you know, it is what it is. It's or Fuego. Don't tell them it's Mario. Inventor, problem solver. I get all that. For somebody that's like, man, this sounds very passionate to what I like. I love events. What are some of those day-to-day tasks? What is it as a founder, as an owner of an event, you know, production company? What does that look like besides everything? Because I know the answer is everything. But
Yeah.
what are some of those key points that like you do this every week or every event?
So I wake up in the morning, drink my coconut water, change my daughter, send her to daycare. Thankfully, I have a great village, my little one, because that was the first thing that in my old company, I was a slave. I was an employee to that company. So I didn't have a schedule,
Okay.
you know,
a routine.
A routine. So I will leave 6 a.m. back in my good old days. And this will be Monday. And I wouldn't like see my family until next Monday. It was very like a hamster in the wheel.
Sure.
So now I drink my coconut water. I take my little one to the daycare, and then I go to my office, and then we typically have a system. I use what's called Trello a lot.
Okay, I use it. Sure. Don't tell me about Trello.
Yeah, I love Trello.
Paul just fainted.
Yeah. So we love Trello, or Monday.com, like everyone
Same thing.
knows it. So this is kind of like my to-do list or my things that I need to accomplish, things that need to get done. In the beginning, I was a firm believer of many hats.
Sure. I can do everything.
Correct. I was the DJ. I was the lighting tech. I was a person sending invoices and accounting and all that stuff. And obviously, I met a good friend of mine's, Mr. B Money, and I saw how you were managing DJs and talents and all that stuff. And then you had a team. You had Julian and everyone else. And I was like, man, you know what? I am gonna make a lot less money
At first.
at first, or for the first 2 years now, but at the end, it is gonna pay off. So now I have a phenomenal team. Like the people, like you text me, it's not even me texting. It's actually my assistant texting you through my laptop.
Through the
saying,
iCloud
hey,
connected.
I'm on my way.
No way.
Yes. So actually, I'm trying, as an entrepreneur, you learn as you go. You know, we were fortunate to, you know, we're born into like the entrepreneur side. So obviously like how things work, how businesses work, how businesses fail, how, you know, businesses lose a lot of money, you know, but if you're not falling, you're not getting back up, like there's no way of you know, growing or getting better. Impossible. So now I have an amazing assistant. I have an amazing, obviously, in-house designer who's like, she actually works from home. She never doesn't come in our office. She works from home.
The best kind.
Works from home.
Give her the project. This is what I need to buy. Get it done.
So I don't even draw it. I tell her, listen, I want like, so this weekend, just to give you an example, we have an Alice in Wonderland build.
Okay.
So we work a lot with Boyton, Aventura. We worked with a lot of communities, Coral Gables Country Club, Coral Gables, Mayor. So they tell them, hey, look, you know, I see what you do. Like, can you do this for me? And I'm like,
absolutely.
Absolutely.
Answer has not changed. It's always absolutely.
So then when I opened Fuego Production, one of my ex-partner's I want to say his right hand in the designing and the, I want to call it branding. Like I was telling you about
Okay.
the floor wraps. He was really upset, you know, same thing that was going through me. Like he didn't see the growth because I'm always a firm believer in the team. If your team is not growing, you're not growing, you know? So I'm
And they probably won't be your team, for very long.
100%. And if you don't have a strong team behind you, like obviously you will never grow. You will always sink, and you know it takes a team to row the boat.
Yep.
And I'm always a firm believer on that. So he comes up to me, and actually he was working at somewhere else in another event industry. He's like, "Hey, I heard you left MP Event Group. You're not MP Event Group, because I'm still MP Event Group. I am still the owner. You left Eddie." And I'm like, and at that time I was already like 1 foot in, 1 foot out. Like I was scared because I was gonna fail. I was gonna fail. Everyone told me, Fuego, you're not gonna make it. Like you're gonna close in 2 weeks or in 2 months, and you're never gonna, like, you know, like you're stupid leaving, you know.
Sure. A foundation that is already set up.
So I go, watch me. So I told him, yeah, I'm leaving. I was tensing because I thought he was gonna tell
Right.
my ex
You didn't know he was going to come back and be on your side.
on my side. So I took the risk and I go, yeah, brother, come to the warehouse. I didn't even sign the lease. This was in the beginning of January. I'll never forget. I go, listen, I don't have much money to pay you, but I promise you, if we do this together, like, you know, I can pay you $18 an hour. And at that time, you know,
That wasn't bad.
you know, $18 an hour, he was like, bro, I'll take anything. So I took out an Amex loan.
Okay.
You know, if anyone in the, you know, Amex is phenomenal. They gave me a 6% for $100,000, $100K. And that's another thing. You fake it till you make it. I told them that I was making this amount of money. I applied for $250,000. They gave me 100 and I think 12 or something like that. And they gave me a loan. And I was like, say less.
I figured it out.
Say less. So I didn't have the money for it. I had like $3,000 in my bank account. With those $3,000, I signed the lease of the warehouse.
Okay.
And I was like, screw it, I'm picking up my stuff. And I left. I'm like, this guy owes me money. I take him to court and he pays me, or I just fly like an eagle. I'll just make it. I made it. And brother, we're here now, 2 years later, and it's been successful. And he's obviously
Still in court?
Yeah, still in court.
That process sucks.
Yeah.
That's another thing that until you go through it, you really don't understand how the legal system works.
Oh man.
And how expensive it can be to win, and that sometimes it's a loss to win.
It is,
you know.
And I've learned the hard way. Like right now, it's more of an ego thing.
Sure.
I'm taking
not ego, because I don't think you're doing it maliciously. I think it's a principle thing.
I'm not. I think karma's a bitch.
Sure.
And at the
And
end
you're playing karma.
Oh no, I'm karma. And at the end of the day, I'm like, it's like I have him hooked on a like, you know, I'm letting him swim like a fish. Just because, man, like I created this company and you just came here and just took out the rug from me, and like that's not fair, you know. And there's a principle why I left working with you. I never left my company. I didn't just see you had different terms, you have different goals of doing things, and I didn't like that. So I did a massive wedding with David Totero, one of the biggest celebrity wedding planners, and I didn't go through the walkthroughs. I didn't do this is for the Bacardi family, Brian. Bacardi family. This our bill was almost $480,000.
Jesus.
Right? So I didn't go to the walkthrough. I didn't know what was happening. My job was to problem solve, to like figure out how this shit gets done. So I get to the venue, Vizcaya. Have you ever been to Vizcaya? It's a pain in the ass for any people that are trying to get in the event industry. Don't work at Vizcaya.
Don't do events.
Don't do it, you know? Or if you do it, charge an arm and a leg. And we're bringing up equipment, whatever. And mind you,
none of the floors are even. You can't roll anything.
No.
It's a disaster.
From the ground to the ceremony, it's 4 flights of stairs.
Yeah, good luck.
Mind you, carrying speakers, lighting trusses, and all that stuff. And
then you have like 14 minutes to break down.
Oh no, 100%.
Yeah.
And the planner gets there and he's like, hey, where are my black up lights? In the wedding industry, white is always the go-to. So I call my amazing colleague and I go, Eddie, where are the black up lights? You promised in black lights. Like this should have been like written, setting in stone.
A run of show of some sort.
Correct. So there was very miscommunication. Like it was, for him, it was just more of a money. You were just another client. Rather than me, like, hey, you know, you go in depth and why we've been so successful to bounce back. So, fine, problem solver. And guess what I did?
Spray painted the white light.
I wish.
Yeah.
That would have been smart. I grabbed black tape and I started black taping.
Nice. And it didn't catch fire.
It didn't,
Cool.
thankfully.
Hey,
Thankfully.
we're good. Problem solved.
So whatever. Then my team are setting up the audio system. Obviously, we got white speakers. They blend in. The guy comes up to me and says, where the fuck are my black speakers? I go, Eddie, please tell me there's someone at the warehouse. They're like, no one there. So I call the Uber guy. I paid him an additional $50. I go, Macho, go into my warehouse. I'm going to FaceTime you. I'll promise you, I'll sell you $50. Grab the 2 speakers are there. Put them in your car and bring them to
back.
me. And
Keep the meter running.
he's like, Macho, I got you. I opened the thing. He went in there. He got the speaker. He put it in there. He came up to me. I gave him a hug. I go, Macho, 50 pesos. Thank you. Plus, I paid him the fare. So that was the second thing. And then the flower people are sitting down and then they're setting up whatever. And when David Totero, the guy, comes in, this is like maybe 5 minutes before the running show. He's like, why the fuck is the trust not on? I'm gonna fire you. I'm gonna tell your boss to fire you. I'm gonna tell the client to sue you. And bro, there was easily about 100 people there.
Yeah.
Easily 100 people trying to put shit together. I go, hey David, how are you? I'm one of the owners of MPF. I go, where were you at the bro? I want to say I turned every color.
I'm sure. Yeah, and it's not a good feeling either.
It wasn't. And my team was like, bro, like that was so embarrassing. Mind you, other celebrity vendors as well. Like we were just the local guy, mind you, for the Bacardi family, whatever. Thankfully, there was no like family or guest there. I go, hey, give me 10 minutes and I promise you this thing will be up. So I'm there like a crazy team, then another team like you, digging the sand, putting the trusses up. And bro, like in 15 minutes, I had that truss up ready to go. The flower people go. And like, I want to say a few minutes before the event, guests are walking in, bro. So then later on, I was in charge of another event and he goes to me, hey, are you going to be there tonight? And I'm like, yeah, absolutely. He's like, tell Eddie not to show his face. And
At least that's the good thing that they knew. Because was Eddie at the walkthrough?
He did the walkthrough, he did all that stuff, and then obviously like he thought trade of all men, he got this, he can pull it up, but this was more heavy in the production. Like,
Sure, no, and the details, which at the end of the day, if you don't know the details, you can't pull anything off.
Correct.
It's like saying you're gonna run a play, but no one gave you the playbook.
100%.
What are we doing?
And then from that day, I was like, listen, like for him to tell me that I'm not the boss or I'm not the person in charge, I was like, no, you know what? Like I don't need this more in my life. Like this was an embarrassment, especially to my name and company, that I'm not gonna let this continue running. So that was just kind of like the eye opener, like, yo, I need to like.
How many years ago was this?
This was in 2022.
Okay.
So 2020, no, I'm sorry, this was 2023.
Okay.
Moving into 2024. And then my eye opened, I was like, listen, I gotta branch out. I gotta like eliminate this because this bad juju cannot continue. And this was like the cherry on top. This was happened.
I was building up to that, and that was not the eye opener, but that was almost the eye closure. Like, all right, yeah, I've had enough, and this can't continue
100%.
to happen. And with the type of client to happen with, then it's like, man, if he doesn't care about something as big or valuable as something like this, then
100%.
Even the smaller weddings then are going to be a disaster. I mean, it's going to be even less detailed.
And no one's perfect. I'm not trying to put shame. It's just those little details that obviously I'm a firm believer in customer service. Like when you promise something to a client,
you got to deliver.
Like you have to.
That's
100%.
any industry, but in this world even more because you're dealing with such special moments.
Exactly.
Quinces, weddings, celebrations, graduations. It's life milestones.
And you only have one shot at it.
Yep.
So that's always a very...
Well, some people get married 2-3 times, but
that's a whole different story, man. So.
All right, so let me get some key takeaways from this conversation as far as what's important to the event production world. And then I want you to fill in what's missing. All right. Professionalism. And we can subcategorize that into, taking care of the clients, delivering, being punctual, probably not delivering, over delivering is probably the right way of saying it, right? So there's professionalism. There's the marketing piece, not just within the events on delivering for the client the branding and the marketing that they need, but also always branding and marketing yourself within these clients, because you'll be
100%.
working with other vendors and other future clients will be at these events. So it's important to connect and be able to be very accessible. So we have professionalism, we have marketing. Naturally, like any other company, there's a billing side to it. Build once, build twice, then you know what we're
100%.
doing, right? So that's boring. We won't talk about billing. I think quality is important, right? There's a lot of experiences that I've been part of, and I won't say in the production world.
Yeah.
Let's just say a blanket statement where the experience was amazing, the professionalism was amazing. El tipo era buena gente. You know, we want to do XYZ with that guy again, but in this case, the speaker sounded like shit. They were set up on time, they looked beautiful, everything was good, but you know, it just wasn't the best speaker.
100%.
Quality, I think, is something you would throw in there. What else, if anything, is important in that hit list for somebody out there? Again, like,
Yeah.
man, I did a house party the other day and it was satisfying, and like maybe I could turn into an event production thing.
So for me, it's all about the logistics.
Okay, so logistics is important.
Logistics is very important.
Have a playbook, organize the playbook, and make sure to follow the playbook.
So I'm gonna kind of give you kind of like our run through of like how we talk about logistics, Lee. So we typically 2 days before, not 1 day before, 2 days before. And the reason why I say 2 days before, because you don't want to leave everything for last minute. How
Right.
many times have you left everything last minute? I'm a firm believer of punctual. It's better to be there an hour ready on time than being there on time and then things happen. Electricity, the positioning of the speakers. Like for example, my client is Neiman Marcus, and with those clients, they're very high end, very luxury. So with that stuff, like for example, it's happened to me before. I've gotten there an hour before, and the speaker sounds like ass. So what do you learn from that is that you test the speaker before you exit the warehouse.
Got it. So you're not testing it at the actual event.
100%. You could have saved yourself 5 minutes, then 30 minutes going this way, 30 minutes going back, gas, water. So
Setting up, taking it out, setting up again.
correct. So that was one of my takes of what I call logistics. Another
Okay.
take on another pointer on logistics that I like to use, it's having some type of spreadsheet. So we use a program called Good Shuffle.
Okay.
Best thing that ever happened to us. Like Trello, wow, this thing is phenomenal. It's an inventory.
Good shuffle.
Good Shuffle, pro.com. This program, right, has your inventory. So let's say, for example, in our DJ thing, we have different packages. So our packages is like, for example, that obviously it's been very times I have to change it. We have a bronze.
Okay.
So our bronze DJ package is what we call the essentials: the speakers, the tripod, the cables, and all that stuff. How many? I don't think you do this, but in our industry, how many times have that person forgot the cable or the
100%,
power cable
1,000%.
or the stand and stuff? So
We don't do so much events, even though we do.
correct.
And most of the events we do, it'll be a production company to set all this up for us.
100%.
But in the house party world, there's no budget for the production company. We do a lot of private events and house parties, and
Correct.
I know exactly what you're
So
referring to.
we created a spreadsheet, but then this spreadsheet was always an error. So this program eliminates all errors. For example, let's say you have 3 weddings, right? And you're like, oh, perfect. You know, I have 3 weddings. I have this equipment. We're good. But the program tells you like, hey, you oversold yourself. You are missing a speaker or you're missing a microphone.
You need 10 wires and you only have 9 in stock.
100%. So that has saved us a lot. So, and it's kind of like dummy proof. We'll have the event. We sold it to the client. So then now on contract, we have, hey, this is what we sold you.
Right.
This is what you're receiving.
Yeah.
This is what you're not promised or not what you're getting delivered. So in the event, like the catering or the, let's say the bouncy house or whatever, tables and chairs, it works phenomenal. So I was able to integrate that into the DJing world.
Makes sense.
Or into the production and audiovisual. Now I can tell you so many production audio company that uses it. I'm like, bro, you're using good stuff. They're like, oh shit. Because you will forget that cable. I don't know how many times they forget. My team has forgotten a stupid microphone stand for the ceremony.
Yep.
So
Or even worse, like let's say you own 4 speakers
correct.
and you're counting on the 4, but you forgot that one of them is blown and in the repair shop. So you actually only have 3.
So then
and the event's this week.
So that what that program does. It's really good. I live and die of that. We've been implementing it since when I started the company for production, and is have not missed. Now there's always room for error. For example, in the branding where we're learning more, hey, we forgot the glue gun, we forgot the double-sided tape, we forgot the spray paint, the brush and stuff. But as a logistic person, you know that you should have a toolbox every time you go to the event. So it's always better to have than not to have.
We'll call that the oh shit box.
The oh shit box. I have the oh shit box. I have the oh shit car. Like in my car.
The oh shit Uber driver.
The oh shit. Oh my God. Uber. I think the reason why Uber is such a successful company.
It's because of your failures.
Bro, 100%. Not my failures, but
your learning curves.
my learning curves. The things that I've Ubered in that, it's been like super.
What other systems? Because now you have me thinking
Yeah.
on the Good Shuffle. What other things exist like that you use on a day to day?
Trello, Good Shuffle. What else do I use?
What billing software or whatever? QuickBooks.
No, so actually Good Shuffle does that all. It has the inventory, it has our CRM,
Okay.
client management program, our emailing, everything for us is Trello. and Good
Invoicing,
Shuffle.
everything is Good Shuffle.
Everything.
Wow. Okay, they figured it out.
And having on a right assistant makes everything like magic.
Yeah.
So obviously with the learning curve, having her, I'll say her name, she's just phenomenal. Julie. So I started with Alexandra. She was learning, great. She's got to medical school, so she's obviously evolved. And I never saw her growing into our company. She was actually our first,
Yeah, placeholder.
my guinea pig.
Yeah.
And she was phenomenal because she was like 19 at the time, and she was like sending invoices and stuff like that. But Julie come from the event industry world, and I didn't want to teach anyone. She didn't want to.
She knew the language.
She knew the language, so I kind of be like, hey, listen, I can pay you $25 an hour. Like, it's not much, but let me mold and grow, and I can easily, start paying you more. She does everything, my friend.
Yep.
She does the client. She emails, texts. She gets the design. She has been the missing piece of what we need. So she's been working with us since the beginning of summer, and she's been the best. Like, so those
Rockstar.
Yeah, so those two things are like the only thing that
I want to
need.
jump into. So you're speaking more of like the corporate team, I guess, of the company, right? But I'm
Correct.
gonna assume that you're no longer the only light tech or audio tech.
No.
Right?
No.
What does that team look like, and what does it take for that team to be a good team? Because I'll give you a little bit of my experiences with other companies and even maybe more one-man shows.
I know what you're talking about.
They don't give a fuck, right? Because it's not their company. It's not their face with the client. If you go up to the light tech and they're setting up, and oh, this is wrong. Where the fuck's my black speakers? Like all they're gonna do is go, wait a minute, and they call you, right? Or they call me in my case, and then we're still client facing, taking the L.
Yeah.
So it's very important to have people that care, and very important to have people that understand more than just setting up the speaker, right? So how do you build that team, and then how do you keep them happy?
So everything starts from the source. I hate saying this, but cancer or anything starts from the source.
Sure. And spreads.
Correct. So everything starts from you. Everyone, I always say it like there's accountability, right? So you can't tell your employees, you can't tell them, oh, this was your fault. This was this, because at the end of the day, it was you as the boss to tell them, hey, how to do their job right. So if you don't have a system, right, that works 100%, not even 100%, 110% properly, then you're setting up your team for failure. And that's what we didn't have over there. And as a boss, as an owner now, I'm like, shit, you know what? Like, if I'm not setting up my team for success, this is not going to work out. And then here comes the stress, and here comes the anger issues, and here comes all the fighting and all stuff that we've had in the other company.
Sure.
Yes, we've had some stress moments here and there with our new team, but nothing like how we had before.
Well, and you know how to handle those situations because it's not so your fault or your fault. Now everybody's saying it's my fault, and now everybody is taking accountability, and you can get beyond the stress.
Correct. So I do keep my team accountability. Like, hey, you didn't pack the M2 laptop for the LED screen, or you didn't pack that. But I've learned that, hey, listen, if I don't sign it saying that, hey, this is everything's here, this is perfect, and you don't check your list triple time, then you're gonna fail. No matter what, there's room for error.
Absolutely.
And obviously you grow and you teach your team. But at the end of the day, for me, it's if you're not taking care of your team, if they're not happy, if you're not buying them lunch, if you're not taking them out, like I took them to K1 Speed,
Nice.
team
That's
team
fun.
bonding and stuff. I've taken them out on my boat. Like a lot of people don't know I have a boat. I take them out on
now
the
I do.
boat. So
Paul, you heard that? We got a boat.
for my birthday, I took him to Playa Largo. I brought my jet ski and like
And a jet ski.
Yeah.
You heard that, Paul?
things like that. If you're not taking care of your team, you're not giving them the love and the nature of what they need. I tell them from the beginning, like we've had, I think our least amount of events will be anything from 4 to the most event will be like 18, 19 events. I've never gone to the 20. One day I'll get to the 20 events.
You're saying what, a week?
Yeah.
Oh,
No,
wow.
a weekend.
Oh, wow. Okay.
So we'll go from
who's getting married on a Wednesday? Right. Makes sense.
So like this weekend we had about almost 13, 14 events. So I haven't stopped. So hopefully Monday will be like, that's it. It's like I haven't stopped for like 2 weeks. But if you're not taking care of your team, if you're not feeding them, if you're not giving them the right nutrition, then your team is gonna
And if they're exhausted, they're pissed.
Correct. And I tell them like every Monday I got guys, how was your weekend? Give me your take. For us it's like therapy. Hey, like, how did it go? So then I hear their feedback and I'll be like, oh man, we were at Vizcaya and we didn't have any food or drinks and stuff. We didn't have anything to eat. So all my team members have a business Amex card. Like I tell them, listen, if you're hungry, you're dying, and that's fucked up to say this, but these are not very technology savvy.
Absolutely. Yeah.
I taught them how to do Uber Eats. I installed Uber Eats in their phone. I show them like, hey, if you're hungry, you're passing out, you're powery, whatever, right? And you're in an event and you're stuck, Uber Eat or something. Like, who does that? No, I've not met one boss who does that. Like, here's my credit card. They all have their names and stuff like that. If you need something, you need to go to Walgreens. Like, I don't have to think for you. Like, I want you to be your own boss.
Which heads to the accountability part.
100%. Like, if you're having this problem, like, I need you to problem solve. Like, you have the transportation, you have the money. Like, at the end of the day, if I saw that you spent $100, right, on food because you wanted to take care of another team, I promise you that team is going to be like, damn, an employee from Fuego Production fed this team, and I promise you they're going to come and work for you. Or not come work for you, they're going to work with you and collab more.
Yeah, or bring you work in the future.
100%.
Oh, I can't do this and that. You know who can? These guys are amazing over there, man.
I want to be that team that be like, hey, damn, Fuego Productionz in the building. Like, bro, this is going to be a piece of cake of an event.
So one thing I'll point out, and then I'll kind of recap this. In that world of the audio tag, visual tag, at the end of the day, as a company,
Correct.
You always kind of want to find somebody that's like the most economical, right? You can't overpay for these type of positions because you have God knows how many working at the same time.
Correct.
And it's very transactional, the job. You do this, you get paid this, go do it, right? So because of that, I've seen a lot of companies or teams kind of treat those personnels as like the support staff. You're not part of this company. You just work for us. Go do the event. You get your check on Monday and then leave us alone, right? And what you're explaining is that essentially they're part of the family. And when you maybe worked in other experiences and have gotten that other treatment, and now all of a sudden, boss cares about what we say. Correct. Right? He wants to hear what we have to say about the event. Not only because he wants to just let us talk, it's also because he wants to make sure if something was wrong, it doesn't happen again, or that it's addressed, right?
100%.
And that sometimes, and I would say most of the time, but I know that sometimes families and things are outside factors. That's worth more than the money.
100%.
Because it gives you that belonging feeling. It gives you purpose, which, especially as men, without purpose, you die. Like it's a proven fact, right? The guy that's worked 80 years and he's healthy as hell, and then he retires, and then in 3 years he dies out of nowhere. It's like, what happened? He had no purpose, right? So
100%.
You're giving him purpose. Through that, you're building a company culture that at the end of the day, the next guy can come and offer him $4 more an hour, and he's gonna go, absolutely not, my brother, I'm good where I am. So you're building longevity, you're building career growth, you're building, there's room also, I'm sure, based on the type of person you are and what you have already explained, where if a position opens up in the corporate world and you're eligible for it or capable of doing it, you're going to promote from within. You're not going to bring in an outsider and joder the guy that's been busting his balls, the last X
100%.
amount of time, right? So, and all this kind of dials into something that you haven't said, but it's kind of full circle. We started the podcast and you said how events, why you like it is because of the experience.
Correct.
The fact that you're able to deliver a memorable experience. And really, you're also delivering on a day-to-day basis a memorable and awesome experience to your crew.
Correct.
Because they are in a place that they probably like going to work.
So I love saying, and I said it before, every event is not just an event, it's an experience.
Yes.
And that was our slogan back in our company. And at the end of the day, that memory is gonna live forever, my friend.
Mm-hmm.
And if you don't treat it like that, if you treat it more as a money or business, then I promise you 100% your company is going to fail.
Mm-hmm.
Because you're thinking of just the money that's coming in. You're not thinking of obviously the experience that the client had, and that person is going to talk about you. Like, I don't even have a website. Like, everything for me has been through Instagram and word of mouth. And I'm even easily closing almost 6 to 7 figures through my company. And you're like, Fuego, like, how are you doing that? It's because it all starts obviously from the customer service, from everything that I've kind of created as more like.
Well, you're not selling speakers because everyone has speakers. And if I really needed speakers like the McCarty family, let's say, the amount of money they spent, they could have gone and bought the whole damn setup themselves and then thrown it
100%.
away the next day.
100%.
And what you're paying for is the experience that comes with
Correct.
the person doing it in a way where they can actually deliver.
100%.
Okay. I want to touch on something before we transition into more of maybe some industry challenges, right? But we speak a lot about these high pressure moments, and in the event world, again,
I live off of that.
it's inevitable. They're gonna happen, right?
Always.
So how do you handle these things, right? So not how do you solve them. Every situation is different. How do you handle it? Do you go to the back and breathe to 3? Do you do some jumping jacks and then get to it, right? Like, what's your, oh shit, I have one of these moments, I gotta solve it.
I don't have it as much now, but obviously I can relate to someone. I don't know what that experience is. I'm not a person who obviously medical, but I've had those moments that you're about to pass out.
You feel your blood pressure going down, and
sweating.
you know you're yellow.
Yes.
You know you're yellow. You don't have to look in the mirror.
What's helped me a lot is the martial arts.
Okay.
That martial arts of that I've experienced.
I've heard this before, by the way.
I experienced,
Not from you, from someone else in the same world that also is heavy in martial arts.
I experienced that. But one thing I could tell people is just breathe,
Okay.
think, stop, and just have faith in God. Because
Okay.
everything always turns out to
Breath work. Start thinking.
yeah.
And then faith in God.
Breathe. Don't say, oh, I'm not gonna be able to do that, or not have that negativity. Because there's always gonna happen. Like I can ask you, how many times have you failed from where you're at now that you're able to figure it out? Or obviously having the right direction. It is gonna take you longer, but at the end of the day, you will get to that point. And in the event industry, my wife goes, I don't know how you do it.
Yeah.
So we were doing it. Oh my God, for Mr. Clean. We had an event for
Okay.
Mr. Clean, right?
Is that a bald joke?
No.
Okay.
No, that's actually a good one.
Yeah.
She saw me, and I do this for a living, but she was like, how did you do that? Like, I was passing out in the corner while the 360 had to start in 30 seconds.
Oh no.
And she was like, how did you figure it out? She's like, I breathed.
I thought
I reconnected every again. And right when it started, it wouldn't spin. The stupid thing wouldn't spin. And this was, for Mr. Freaking Clean.
Yeah.
Like, if this 360 photo booth won't work, like, what do you do,
You're running in circles with the camera in your hand.
No. I was going to be like, dale, push it in whatever. I'll put some WD-40 and let that thing spin.
Let it go.
And it worked, my friend.
We're not stopping though. It stops when it stops. Figure it out.
So yes, and then now it starts becoming a high. It becomes like a high. Like, you're like, man, I really like this. I really like to problem solve. The other time, the freaking event company that was there before, they had a big giant trust.
Okay.
And bro, they forgot to bring down the truss, and I was there at 5 a.m. to bring in my truss.
Because the event was the next day.
Then the next day. So they talked to whoever, and they were like, "No, yeah, we're gonna pick it up the next day," knowing that they forgot that we had our event. So I go to my team. Okay, we're gonna use their thing. And then we're gonna bring it down. Guess what happens? One of the cramps break.
Of
So
course.
I'm like, fuck me, what we're gonna do? I brought in my ladder. I brought in a 2x4. I go, guys, listen, we're gonna go there and we're gonna start bringing it down little by little.
Manually,
Bro. And this was easily a 30x30 truss structure, but
which is metal.
oh,
Yeah, it doesn't. It's not plastic. It's not right.
Pound. I was finally, and it was about 18 feet high. So I was finally bringing it down to like, I want to say 12 feet high.
Okay.
And then I go, listen.
Wheel this bitch out.
No, geometry, brother.
Okay.
Geometry. How does the triangle stand? In 3. Let's go. 1 point, other one. I figured it out, brother. And I was able to use that because I had to make it smaller.
Okay.
So I used that same truss. It was at the Trump Doral in the Vivanco ballroom. And that's another thing for any person DJ that's getting into the event world. Like, do your homework. You know, there's certain places that, you know, go scope it out, check it out.
Get familiar with the venues.
That place sucks. I love you, Trump Doral. I love you, my whole team. But the elevator of the Crystal Ballroom, there's different ballrooms. It's the size of your closet.
Yep.
So how do you put subs, trusses, moving heads?
One at a time.
It's impossible.
Yeah.
Impossible. But you go with the mindset, like you come with a plan, and then you bring the smaller trusses and you're able to fit it in there. So logistically, you bring obviously the thinner moving head, things like that. That obviously the lighter sound system, and you bring more. You're not bringing an 18-inch sub. The 18-inch sub doesn't fit into the elevator.
Okay.
So you got to come in with the 12s, you know, and you got to do like a satellite. Trust me, I've been doing this for so long that you problem solve and you learn. All the outlets don't work. So one outlet is connected to everyone. So you got to connect outside. You got to connect to the kitchen. There's things that you learn.
Which means that you got to bring extra cables and a lot of the footage.
Yeah. So with the experience and the time, you learn how to problem solve, and you breathe, and you have faith in God, brother, and you figure it out, my brother.
And little by little. And hopefully you learn from them and you take notes so that the next time you're in the Crystal Ballroom, you remember
Correct.
X, Y, and Z.
Bring an
Correct.
extra stand.
And pray heavy.
Yes.
Okay, so words of advice for someone looking to get into this industry outside of, if you don't like problem solving and being on the spot, olvídate, this isn't for you, right? But outside of that, one sentence or one advice.
One advice is to shadow someone.
Okay.
You know, start dabbling into it. Person like me, I had to run like the wind. I jumped in the fire and I had to keep swimming.
Right.
It's not for everyone. My wife hates it. She will never work with me. I've tried to convince her. I go, obviously I told her to quit her teaching career.
Okay.
And just come work for me. I'll buy you a G-Wagon, all that stuff.
Nothing will convince her.
It wasn't for her.
Okay.
And other people are the same. Well, they're just slow pace. I
had the same conversation with my girl's a fourth grade teacher.
So
nothing's getting her.
I love it. I love the
nothing's getting her out of there.
Yeah, I love the school system. Obviously, if it wasn't for the schools, I wouldn't be able to help branch off to help me bounce to what I'm doing now. But yeah, go try to dabble in it. Try to don't be hey, yes, I do this, and then obviously if you're not a good problem solver, then you're likely to fail.
And you can get good at it.
No,
but you got to be
100%.
willing to be a problem solver.
Correct.
If you don't want to be the guy in the hot seat,
yeah,
don't even get started.
Or the spotlight.
Or the spotlight, depending on the event. All right, so I have one last
Go for it.
question per se, and then I have three guest preferences.
Okay, perfect.
It's more of a Mario thing in this case, okay? And my question is industry-wide, event production industry. What are some challenges? What are some things that just aren't right and could be better, or things that you don't see changing that should be changing? Or
I'm gonna say from the beginning, don't be cheap.
Okay.
Don't be cheap. I can do something that you can do, and you can do something that I can do. Same thing like our friend here, Paulie. I'm sorry I call you Paulie.
He's Paulie, bro, forever.
I know Paulie since from obviously
Since he was Paulie.
Paulie has a nature or a talent that he can do.
Right.
Something like you, something like me. I was never a good salesperson. Obviously, that's what Eddie was good at. He could sell this tree, and obviously I learned from him, and now my family be like, oh, You want this palm tree? I promise Fuego can sell it to you for triple the price. But at the end of the day, like I was trying to go back to is don't be cheap, because at the end of the day, you know, it's gonna hurt you more rather than, you know, hey, did I price it right? Or was I too expensive? It's the other thing. You don't want to be too expensive either. And what I'm trying to say is there's DJs out there that are charging $25 an hour. I'm like, brother, the lady in Starbucks is charging the same amount.
Right.
And
she can't even spell your name right on the cup.
that is so true.
You know what I mean?
That is so true.
Yeah.
Chelsea. My wife hates it all the time. But you're absolutely right. So I tell these people, like, listen, you just gotta find your market. You know, yes, sometimes you gotta do some free shit, and sometimes you gotta be able to collab.
But that's still also not free. That's a marketing exposure cost.
100%.
That's a 100% discount. It wasn't free.
100%. It's a tax write-off.
Correct.
But at the end of the day, if you're charging your service free, you're shorting yourself. You're the stick of the short.
You're getting the short end of the stick.
You're getting your short end of the stick. Like right now, I love bragging about it. Like I charge $5,000. Do you want DJ Fuego? You want the Fuego experience? It's $5,000. Why is it so expensive? And people are like, no one's gonna pay you that. And I won't say names. No one's gonna pay for that, brother. I'm doing that almost every weekend, and it's and I don't brag on it like, oh yeah, I make $5,000. It's just something that during COVID, I opened my mind. My best friend Manny, that I'll never freaking forget, he was in the hospital during COVID, and because I was making someone else experience a memorable experience, I wasn't able to go and say bye to him, or at least say my goodbyes to him, because obviously at the end of the day, you know, I'm doing this every weekend and not spending family time with them. And I from that day, I go, you know what? If they want DJ Fuego, if they want me, it's $5,000. And look at me now, you know, and this was 2020, 2021. And look at us now.
So this is essentially like a know your worth type of thing.
Correct.
Right?
If you don't know your worth and you don't know what your value, yes, I was that DJ that was starting at $50 an hour. You know, thankfully I started at $50 an hour.
More than Starbucks.
Yeah, more than I was at $50 an hour. But now I'm here almost 16, 15 years after, and be like, damn, you know what? Do I prefer spending time with my little one and my family? Or
What's that worth to you? Right.
That's for me, it's untouchable.
Right.
It's priceless.
Right.
So I tell everyone, listen, like right now there's companies out there that want to work for a buck, and it's fine. It's good to, you know, but at the end of the day, like if you're doing this every weekend, and now to a point that, you know, hey, we have so many events, but if I was charging what I was charging before,
you'd have quadruple the amount of events, I'm sure.
Correct. So now you're creating an empire. And that's what I tell everyone, even the DJs now, the young guys, like obviously a lot of people look at me. I'll give a perfect example. Drew from Drew Express, he's starting what I've learned, you know, or my boy DJ Bender, he's like, bro, I want to invest on these uplights. Should I do it? I'm like, absolutely, my friend. Like, do it. You don't know, like this water bottle can make you money. It's like people be like, oh, why am I gonna buy a drill? Because I promise you that drill is gonna make you money. And I say it firmly, and obviously, like, just know your value. Yes, you know, you're gonna have to take some L's and, you know, obviously some losses, but at the end of the day, if you build that empire.
So that's definitely an industry challenge, but I want to spin that because I agree 1,000% with what you're saying. So I'm not going to push back on it because I agree, but I want to spin it where it's also something that a client has to keep in mind. Know the value that you're paying for, right? Because I get it all the time, and I'm sure, forget it, you get it even more than me.
Yeah.
Oh, but why is it $5,000? I have DJ XYZ over here that's doing it for $1,500.
And I'll tell them, absolutely, I agree with them. But then I kind of mind fuck them and be like, listen, if Pepe Diaz, Pepito, whatever, is going to do it for $300, you're still taking that risk of him with less experience.
Right. There's a reason he's cheaper.
Correct. That he's going to miserably fail at your event. And then me, obviously, I can prepare. I bring extra microphones. I bring extra speakers.
Right. I've been in those situations enough times to know how to fix them. Correct. Where it might be his or her first time in that experience. Correct. Do you really want your daughter's wedding to be where this person learns?
100%. And I always tell them, I go, listen, that's fine. You know, you're going to pay $400, but are the guests and is your daughter and obviously your future son-in-law. gonna be like,
I had to do the little.
I know, me
The
too.
little tree.
Are they gonna be like, wow, this was an unforgettable experience? You know,
Because that's what you're paying for. You're not paying for a DJ to play music.
100%. And anyone can do it, and absolutely. And there's phenomenal DJs. I don't give that from that, but not every DJ. Like for me, I don't consider myself a club DJ anymore, just
Right.
because I don't do it as much anymore. Can I do it? Absolutely. But
Sure.
everyone has their lane. So I always tell everyone, oh, stay in your lane, but at the same time, be able to cross the lane, dabble in that lane, and see if like, hey, am I the right fit for this? You know, because at the end of the day, I'm not a carpenter, but I promise you, I have a phenomenal. His name is Jimmy. This guy is what I call the god of carpentering. Like this guy, and I've learned that from my dad. Was obviously my dad. I call my stepfather. My dad. He's like the Jesus. His name is Eduardo. I call him El Jesucristo de madera. So I've learned a bunch of stuff and I've known that, and obviously that's how I got into that. I love that world. Like, how do we do this? How do we do that? And
But you still bring in a carpenter that knows exactly what he's doing, even though you know enough to probably do it and charge a little.
No,
it might mess up the experience. It might hinder the situation.
You paid for what you paid for, my friend. That's 100% fact.
That's something that I had troubles in the beginning, like. You know, because I'm also very client facing. I want the client to have a great experience, not just in the ceremony with the DJ, but in dealing with me and the team here, and what are we facilitating. And at the end of the day, I always say this, like, I'm actually not I'm not selling talent. I'm selling the simplicity, right? And the organization of you being able to go through this process where you don't even have to ask questions. We're gonna give you everything that you haven't thought of yet.
100%.
And that costs money. And then, yes, also the talent's gonna have the same mindset. We don't work with anybody that doesn't have that type of value or that type of culture.
100%.
And like you said, it starts from within and then it trickles down. And luckily, you know, in the past, there's been certain people that haven't represented that culture correctly. And at the end of the day, it doesn't make them bad DJs, doesn't make them bad people.
100%.
But I unfortunately can't work with those people. You know what I mean?
100%.
And life goes on. And then you hear these stories, these horror stories, and you're like, thank God I didn't make that booking, you know, because it's a reflection on me.
Or that DJ play freestyle during dinner music.
Right. So, all right, I want to dive into Mario stuff.
Go for it.
Okay. Hold on. There's one thing I need to ask.
Go for it.
Paul's gonna laugh
Go for it.
because I know nothing about it.
Okay.
People hear help. Every industry obviously is being touched a little bit by AI.
Oh my God.
Okay, so outside of good shuffle,
I forgot that. Go for it.
what are some trends or like how are we shaping the event world with AI? And will you have a job in 4 years, right? Like, how does this work in your industry?
AI right now.
I will not have a job in 4 years.
No.
I thought that's what he was going to start off with.
No,
Go ahead.
I was going to, but AI is my best friend.
Okay.
I have this picture always in my head of like what, like for example, you come up to me and you're like, Fuego, like this is my office and stuff like that. So my head, I am built with my head that spins. Like I'm already like, if you've ever seen those cartoons like the Albert Einstein and stuff, Chat GBT is my God.
It's my brain.
No, exactly. You know, I am crazy. ChatGPT is even crazier. So ChatGPT, I don't know if you know this, you put a whole script like I wanted this. So I take a picture, I put it. I don't know if you know how to do this.
I've dabbled with it. The pictures end recently for like emails and copyright. I've been using it for a little bit, but it's learning how to use it too, right? Like, and
so obviously we use ChatGPT to. I don't use my. I feel the FCAT. I graduated high school with a 1.9.
Nice. That
Impossible.
means you barely got
I was always terrible, and that's why DJing I was able to kind of like express myself because I don't know how to speak. Obviously, when I was little, they put me in therapy, autism, and all that stuff. Look at me now. I had like a speech imperative, whatever the case may be. I'm here talking on a podcast,
camera, which is
so I'm a good storyteller. But ChatGPT is like my best friend. So instead of asking my wife, because I sometimes feel embarrassed, how do you spell this? Or how do you, I go, ChatGPT, I need you to reply to this email. I need you to do this. And I found out this about like 6 months ago when ChatGPT 2.0 came out, whatever you want to call it, that it can actually illustrate stuff.
Yeah, that's crazy.
So then I take a picture and then I'll be like, hey, ChatGPT, you know, or chat, I need you to illustrate this logo on this wall out of mirror silver acrylic.
Mm.
Boom, it pops it out because it's very difficult.
And now you're able to show that to the client.
And I go, look, this is what you're gonna get. And they're like, oh my God, like this looks phenomenal. Mind you, this was a computer
Sure, yeah,
that
yeah,
I
yeah.
paid for the subscription. I don't know how much.
What, yeah, like $19 a month or something.
Correct. And now it's obviously, yes, it is taking money from the designer, but it's not even that. Can that ChatGPT put it on Illustrator or Vector and AutoCAD and cut it on my machine? Absolutely not.
Right.
So there is some type of human, sooner or later, we will.
That's gonna get replaced too. Yeah, but yeah.
Correct. ChatGPT, I need you to
There's
do
a
this whole
necessity
process.
still right now.
Until, obviously they start building robots and stuff, and that's a different animal.
I mean, you already have a robot. It's called the printing machine.
Correct.
There's just someone has to operate
Correct.
the robot.
So then now,
soon there'll be a robot operating the robot.
So ChatGPT, whatever you want to call it, is phenomenal because I use that for that. And then from there, my designer has some type of guidance or inspiration
Reference.
of what they want.
Yes.
And then they go and they start doing the vectors, the designs, the mock-ups, the actual real mock-ups.
Right.
And, one thing is like, it looks artificial. They actually like, hey, this.
Chatty helped you, and then the other one is like, here's actually what it is.
Correct. This actually looks like. And then from there, we bring it into house. We throw it on our flatbed. We print out the acrylics. With the company logo. Then we bring it into the laser machine, and then we start doing all the lasering, cutting, and all the cutouts and stuff. And then we do the stencils, and then we go install company logos, just to use for an example and stuff. So
nice. So
ChatGPT.
in a design facing conversation, let's say, it helps you actually be able to get some creativity going without having to get 10 mock-ups professionally designed.
Correct.
You can say, what does this look like? Good thing I did this because I don't like the way it looks. Let's do it this way instead, or let's do it this way. Or, hey, client, here's 6 options. Which one do you like the most?
100%.
Almost a whole mood board, based on this, where before it was more of a, here, this is what you're getting.
Correct.
And so it opened up the possibility for options and conversation.
I can relate to you because I know what we're talking about. How many times, right, did your company create DJ logos and then they're like, no, I didn't like it like this, or I didn't like it like that. And
a 6-month process, and you still didn't get the perfect one.
Correct. So ChatGPT does it in 30 seconds.
Yeah, I don't like this about it. Change this.
Correct.
So mostly on the design facing side, and eventually I'm sure there's going to be a way that Good Shuffle talks to the robot, and then you're not even going to have to input anything or run of shows or anything, and it'll get to that. But all right, cool. So that was my question.
Go for it.
Now we have 2 Mario questions. All right. One, I'm big, and based on some of the stories you've said, naturally, you learned a lot as a kid, right?
100%.
From how to speak better to what your strengths are, what your weaknesses are, how to adapt with both. So every segment I ask the guest, what's their favorite childhood moment, but not just like your favorite moment. What's your favorite moment that you can now tie into why you're sitting here today? And not necessarily like here with me, but like, why are you Mario, DJ Fuego from Fuego Productionz? Is there a moment that you just thought of that maybe you haven't thought of in 27 years and you're like, holy shit, when I was this age, I remember doing this, and this, and I didn't even know that I liked lights back then, like whatever. Like, what's that inner child moment? There's
a lot of moments that kind of like make me, and I'll try to say it as quick as possible. The first moment was like the typical house parties.
Okay.
My family were always into, we used to call it La Liga.
Okay.
It was a place that we used to go every weekend. They'll play music, they'll play bingo.
Okay.
And I always really love how from an event, you get to share and you get to connect with other people and you kind of create experiences. My dad has a farm. We used to do farm parties, and we used to obviously ride horses, and those experiences. And it goes back to where I'm at today. Is like, man, we're creating events so people can be like, wow, this was a memorable experience, or this is a memorable event. So that is one thing that I was like, oh, I always wanted to go into events. So that's one of them.
That's awesome.
The lighting and the production. I don't know if you ever remember. Do you remember like the Power Ranger arena? Did you ever go to one of those shows that they had?
No. Arena, no, but I mean, I was a big Power Ranger fan.
So I was a big fan, and obviously Paul's
gonna plug in a thing right now in the thing of the videos. You get the arena.
They used to have concerts, and it was cool, like how they had the martial arts and the lighting, and the blackout, and the theatrical, and that was one thing that I was like, bro, like this is so cool. And I was never, and my wife always looks, what are you doing?
Yeah.
I'm looking at the show, but I'm looking back and like, wow, like that's how they get this texture lighting. And like, for example, when oh my God, what was his name? The guy who probably helped me out here, the guy that used Zordon. You know, so I would never.
You didn't even describe it. My dog threw it off back there. Holy shit.
Oh my God. So there was, I would never forget.
You don't know this, but Paul was actually the Red Ranger. No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
In the Mexican version.
And the Mexican. I'm telling, for real?
No, hell no. Hell no.
I'll be like, oh shit, you don't actually know the Chacal from
No way.
I know his son.
for Oscar?
Chacalín, you know,
Chacalín?
like-
Oscar? Is it Oscar? Whatever, we're talking about it. He's a good friend of mine.
That's hilarious. All right, so anyways,
So I was like, bro.
Zoran, what was his name?
Zordon.
Zordon. That's where you were at.
I was like, did they bring this guy from like LA and he was like performing? And then obviously as a kid, you're like, yo, this guy's for real life.
Right.
You know, and then I found out like obviously this is a projector that's projecting his face, and you're like, oh shit, you know. And I was very intrigued in that world, like how they're able to kind of create scenes. And then I got into like the Warner Bros. And the movies and stuff, and I was very big on like, you know, the texture lighting. Like for example, if you ever, it's a small world after all. Have you ever like sit down in that? I know the music is freaking annoying,
Right.
but like how they grab like, you know, like the thunder, and it's actually like they're using different lighting and globals. I always loved that, and I was a very big into that. I never went into theater, but then when I started dabbling into the lighting, and I was like, wow, like this is how this is done, and this is how you can create like the first. For example, in the wedding industry, you know, when you're talking in the mic, if you've ever been to a wedding, you're like, where the fuck are the bride and groom gonna come out?
Right.
You know? And you're hear me. And now,
Where's the entrance? You know,
ladies and gentlemen, please stand.
like if this was WCW.
Exactly. So what we do is we black all the lights. You know, we give some strobe effect. We do a pin spot on the door, and everyone's not going from here to like, oh snap, they're coming out over there. You know. So that's with obviously lighting, and I kind of,
Which is theatrical.
it is.
It is.
And I
100%.
always love that, and that's how I sell it to the client. So now, you know, I'm not selling you a tree, I'm selling you a lighting.
Yeah.
So you fake it till you make it, and now this $300 moving head is actually making me like thousands of dollars.
Yeah, and providing hundreds, if not thousands, of experiences and different type of experiences. Because if you do
Correct.
this with this, it does that. But if you do this with this, it does something different. And you understand all that. But if you didn't have the passion for it, you wouldn't. You would just use it as a movie head.
Correct.
What this does is this, and you don't know that it could also do this, and this.
Correct.
Did you ever think back then, as a kid, like there's someone controlling that light?
No,
No, huh?
I thought it was all AI, artificial
Yeah.
intelligence.
But
As a
in
kid,
1995, AI, it was like this wasn't a manpower thing. This was like
Yeah.
its own universe.
So now with technology, like I found out maybe like 5-8 years ago that there's just, you press one button and it actually, the computer programs the whole show. So like obviously in these Bad Bunny concerts and stuff, it's actually by time code. So now like, you know, the music starts, the whole program is programmed to do this sequence and this lighting, and it's just the guy with his hands crossed because he was at his home programming. Yeah, man.
Well, back in the day, it was one guy per light.
100%.
And it was like, yo, go,
Yeah.
you're late.
You know, and like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I remember, I had no interest in lights, but I do remember looking at sometimes in the Raptors, and it was that. It was the guy with the spotlight, and then sometimes maybe they were understaffed or under budget, and
Yeah.
people would take off because you got to go and take care of the other thing now for this next scene.
100%.
Or, you know, you took me to, I used to go a lot with my mom and sister to Disney on Ice.
exactly.
And the way that the ice would glow, and sometimes it looked like it was melting, and then sometimes it was frozen, and
Correct. And Elsa comes on.
yeah,
like,
and you're like, how the hell did the ice open? You know, like,
correct.
so very cool.
Yeah.
This has been one of the more enjoyable
Oh,
inner moments
thanks, guys.
because of how tied in. Not saying that the other ones weren't, but
No,
the
no,
other ones were.
100%.
We've spoken a lot about inner moments, and it's very like transactional, where this was more situational.
Correct,
And
correct.
it's very cool. So I like
100%.
asking this question.
No, and it's a good. It's
Everyone
actually,
might hate it. I don't care.
No,
it's for me.
100%. But people love. I obviously like now the podcasting is now, and I just love listening to other people's like memories or things like that because you can connect with them.
And I made someone out there think of an inner child moment that they had.
100%.
And too often we don't think enough of our childhood. And if we did, we would understand that it's the foundation of our building or our life. And it all started there, right? So like I catch myself all the time in deep reflection of whatever. And then I'll snap out of it and go, why the fuck do I remember when I was 7 years old what shirt this guy was wearing when he was talking about XYZ and then, oh, but I know why I also learned what I know. It was that day when, right? Like, or like moments with my family, or sometimes my dad thinks I'm crazy. Sometimes I'll be like, Dad, you remember when we would go to Pascual where I played baseball when I was a kid, and the car rides, we used to do Roman numerals. And you know, as a kid, your surrounding is the whole life. You don't understand there's more to it. My dad was going through 7 job things and 100 things in life that now I understand. He doesn't remember.
He doesn't.
It means a lot to me, you know, and it's like, I think about these things all the time.
Those childhood moments that these kids nowadays don't have that, and especially it's so sad with technology and AI. Like, do you remember, like, for example, when you used to cross a railroad track, do you ever like lift up your feet and stuff, or you know, like the punch buggy games and stuff? Like,
Yes.
they don't have that stuff.
Punch buggy was
anymore.
big. My sister would beat the shit out of me.
100%.
Well, she was taller and older, so she could actually look out the window. That wasn't fair. You know, like I would have, punch buggy.
You know, so I remember, I'm like, me and you, we have this thing that I remember, I will never forget. I was 1 year old, my birthday party, and obviously it was one of those scar moments. My dad decided to put me on a pony, and the pony just fucking
Took off.
and I'm there, and when I fall on a freaking ant pile.
Oh no.
So those little moments that you're like, I cherish, and to like, hopefully creates the man who I am today. And I don't think these kids will have that.
That's crazy. You just so we see the movie Jaws, and then we go on a trip to the Bahamas, and my whole family's like, we're gonna go banana boat riding.
You're crazy.
And I'm like, I am not. And then my mom's like, well, you know, you're God knows how old I was this big. And he's like, well, I'm not leaving you on the beach by yourself. So your only option is that you're going banana boat riding with me. So there's a video. Sorry, it's not a video. There's because my dad used to have the camcorder that you would like carry like this and go on every vacation. But so my dad jumps off ex-Marine, and you know the ocean is second nature to him. Jumps off the thing while it's still like out there, and he swims in with the tide. He wanted to like go for a long swim from in. He got on the beach before the thing ended. And I don't know this, but my whole family knows this, that at the end, because they had been watching the other rides, at the end, the boat goes boom, hits a hard turn to throw everybody off. So the boat's coming in, my dad's got the camcorder, and then he hits the hard L. The thing spins completely, and my whole family's freaking out because I don't come up from under the water. My sister went flying. My mom was trying to float, like, and this is on the shallow end. This is like they come in and they leave you there, basically, right? And everybody's freaking out. And my dad's, the camera's now shaking, and he's like, fuck the camera. He's looking for me, and the whole nine, right?
God.
And out of nowhere, my dad goes, mira, come, mira, dad. I'm still on the banana. I'm the only guy left. And finally, the Bahamian turns around, and he's in shock. He's like, no one's ever, like, I was holding on so tight, scared for my life.
Like a koala on a fucking tree.
Because if you go in the water, Jaws is going to kill you.
100%.
And I just saw Jaws. I ain't letting go. I literally remember I went underwater and came back up, and my boy was out. So these are these little moments that mean so much, man. And it's the more I talk about inner moments with people, the more I myself sometimes remember shit. Obi talked about like he would think he was in a spaceship, and like he was actually in outer space, you know. And like I had this little spot in my closet that was a spaceship, you know. So
or like before running to the kitchen, you had to turn on the light because you're like.
If not, there was a scary movie that scared the shit out of me forever. I forgot the name. Paul's gonna say it. Where when the lights went dark, this thing would come out and get you. So you would run from like light block to light block or whatever. Bro, for like, I think I might still be scared of the dark. Like, if I'm leaving the kitchen, boy, full sprint to the bedroom at night, you know, when the whole house was dark. 100%. Full sprint, I would take my socks off and everything because my mom's house was wood floors. Shoot, slide. If not, forget it. Mario, this has been amazing. I want to ask you one last question before we end. Why are you in this journey called business? We've talked about all the pains of it. We've talked about the stress. We've talked about the nightmares. Why the hell wake up tomorrow and keep doing this?
there's many answers to this, but the only answer I can tell you, it's something that I created and it's mine, and no one else can tell me how to do this. Yes, they're gonna guide you to it, but for example, I love this guy. Can idol him, Pitbull.
Okay.
Pitbull is one of those my idols, just because this guy comes from nothing. He was a nobody, Mister whatever, damn it, man, whatever you want to
Right.
call him, and now he's Mister Worldwide, Mister International, and stuff. So he's made a name for himself. So I can say that as well. Like, I can say, like, I'm building a legacy, obviously for my family, because obviously as me and you, hopefully you're an immigrant, because we come from, obviously my family comes from, poverty, like they had nothing. And you want to create something that you're like, oh man, you know what, hey, this is the owner of Fuego Production. And I've always seen, like, if you've ever seen like companies that, legacy, like, oh, the CEO, the owner of Coca-Cola, this and that. I've always Publix. Have you ever gone to Publix and you see that guy's face?
Yeah.
I always wanted to
There's
see
a
that
plaque
guy.
in everyone.
There's a plaque in everyone. I always saw myself like, man, one day I'll, be that person, or I kind of, see myself doing that. And I've always, loved that. Is entrepreneur for everyone? No, it's not for everyone. And I've seen it. There's two type of people, and I always say this: there's the hammer and the nail.
Sure.
Can you be the hammer or can you be the nail? But I'm more of like that person that I don't want to be the hammer and I don't want to be the nail. I want to be the staple gun.
Okay.
That helps instead of you doing all the force, I'm helping you, carve your path. And obviously, like, it's just a different mentality. A lot of people say, yeah, yo soy el jefe.
Sure.
And,
Those are normally the worst ones.
yeah. I'm not a boss. I'm more of a leader. I'm more of a captain of the ship. And if, I'm not a good captain, the ship is going to sink. And
Yep. I'm a team member here, and it just so happens that you come to me to maybe understand if you're going a little off course, which way to turn, but I'm not here to
100%.
tell you to turn.
And there's always going to be that employee that's going to, really suck. But if you're not a good boss or a good leader and you're not guiding them, then,
And the day of tomorrow too, guess what? There's also some people you have to part ways from. And it is what it is. And that's also part of the job.
Yeah.
And sometimes the shitty part, because you
Yeah.
do care for everyone and you do want the best for what's everyone, but then it's it's not for everyone.
I've lost two people, one that really hurt me just because obviously he's going through some things, and I try to help him and stuff, but at the end of the day, it's just like, man, you just gotta do your thing. Like, obviously, like, just I told him, like, listen, this is my business, just don't disrespect me. Like, we can talk, not a lot of people, they're like, hey, you fucked up, you're fired. That's it. That's how most businesses are. But at the end of the day, I was in your shoes, and I don't want to see that, because I've been screamed at, and it sucks being screamed at. Instead of playing, the martial arts have helped me a lot with the PCP. No one knows what PCP stands for. It's praise.
Isn't that a drug?
No, it's not OPC or whatever you want to call it.
I'm like, PCP, Mario, where this took a left turn, dude.
I'm a firm believer in correct praise.
Okay.
You praise the guy, yo, you've been killing it, but obviously, make sure you dress appropriate next time. That's one of the things that I drill it to my guys. Like, you might be the ugliest kid in the world, or you might be the ugliest person, but I promise you have a suit on, you'll be the prettiest.
Yeah, you look the part.
You look the part.
You look the part.
Customer service, the way you talk to people, sometimes you don't know what that person's going through, like, if that person's coming to you and screaming at you, try to use the positivity and the, hey, you know what, I got you. I'm here to help you. And I promise you start changing your mind. And then one good example, I had a planner come up to me and she was like, oh, you got to put the neon sign. I'm like, I'm the DJ. Like, that's not even my job. Like, they didn't even pay me to do this stuff, and she's like, no, like, make sure you put it. And I go, okay, no problem. And I'm a firm believer, like, make sure you get your job done first. And if you have some time,
and then help out.
So I had about like 10 minutes before we opened doors, and she's like, why is the neon sign not up? I go, listen to me carefully. Like, that's not my job, right? I didn't get paid for this. What you should have done is you'd have asked me to help you. We are a team to make sure that the bride and groom gets an unforgettable experience. But if me and you are fighting and not working as a team, I promise you, it's going to backfire. And I bet you $1,000 that was your job at the end of the day. So then I go, look, I'm going to do it. But you know what? Remember that I stuck my hand to help you. That I didn't need you.
Right.
At the end of the day, she's like, look, let's start from scratch. I apologize. I was just stressed, like, She was having family issues, and
No, and it's a stressful environment, bro. It's not easy.
now she's one of my best planners.
There you go.
So, from always going above and beyond, just
Goes back
swallow.
also to knowing your worth and saying, hey man, this is how it's gonna go, and this is how we're gonna solve the problem together.
100%.
But I also have to be clear and stern, and then guess what? It doesn't happen again if you do that.
Yeah.
Where if you just bite the tongue and put the neon sign and don't address it, the next time you work with that person, you're also doing the draping and you're also the caterer. And you're like, how did I get here? And it's because you didn't set the expectations.
100%.
So
that's always a
Mario, how can people connect with you or Fuego Productionz? How can they learn more about your company? How can they reach out? What's the call to action here?
I won't give you my number because my assistant.
please don't.
My assistant will kill me or kill you.
I'm gonna text her right now too. Don't worry. I'm gonna text you. That's my point. And go, hey, I found out who you are.
Correct. Is your name really Julie? Something like that. But Instagram is our bread and butter. I'm a firm believer now with social media. I even tell all the DJs, like, if you're not pushing through Instagram, yes, I don't do it for my DJ personality just because maybe when I'm older, my daughter's older, then I'll be like that 50-year-old in the bedroom making like cool mixes and stuff. But Instagram, follow us on Instagram, Fuego Productionz. You can, Google us. We don't have a website.
Productions with a
Z at the end.
There you go.
That's
I wanted to
very
make sure.
firm,
Okay.
yes.
Fuego Productionz on Instagram. Make sure to connect. If there's and the answer could be no, and we'll cut this out, but if there's an aspiring event planner out there, do you offer internships? Are you someone they can reach out to and ask questions? Do you want to connect with these young, hungry people?
No, that's anyone in the industry that wants to learn. Any DJs upcoming. I'm a firm believer. Like, I scratch your back, you scratch your back.
Absolutely.
I've been in a situation like now that I'm in the printing business. I've happened to me before. I went to a client's place and she was like, oh, like, what do you do? And I'm like, oh, I DJ, and I was able to connect, but I also do the printing. And just because getting her phone number, I called her one day, my machine was running out of ink. I go, hey Pam, how are you? Like, do you have this black ink? She's like, oh, hey, Fuego, don't worry about it. Just so, connecting with people, and obviously, connect, like, firm believer, connecting with people is like, it's a must. You never know who you're gonna meet until you're gonna need them.
Yeah.
And then obviously,
And then you're happy you met them.
100%.
Yeah, 1,000%.
But no, reach out to me. My email is fuegopros@gmail.com with the Z at the end, like Fuego Productionz, but pro. Send me an email, call me, Instagram me. I'm a firm believer. Any DJs have any questions, if I have the time and I'm not spending time with the family, I'm always helping out. Like, yo, how'd you do
Don't
this?
call in the morning because he's taking her to daycare. So don't mess up.
No, my wife
Don't
and my
mess
mom
up.
will kill me.
Yeah.
I'm an open book. Like, how do you do this? I do that. Like, all my DJs that are now jumping from the nightlife to in the event industry, like, I tell them, yo, you need to buy this. Like, this works. This microphone sucks. Don't get this microphone.
Which will save a lot of money.
lot,
and time, but a lot of money as well. So
100%. So
Mario's on for a reason. Rockwell uses MPE and Fuego Productionz for weddings and private events.
100%.
And like we started the show, this is a platform to bring on credible people in the Rockwell ecosystem. And he's definitely someone that's credible, someone that has learned from hella experiences and failures. So don't go through the failures
100%.
if you have a chance to learn. So definitely should reach out. Mario, thank you so much for your time
thank you for
again,
having
man.
me, brother.
This has been amazing.
100%.
Glad you got a chance to see the spot.
Yeah, this is phenomenal. What you're building is an empire, my friend. And brother, it's like, I love this because obviously I see you growing, and obviously I love seeing my family, my home team, because me and you started from the bottom.
Yes,
now we're here.
man, yes.
And we've learned from our failures, and now we're here now. And obviously,
We got more to come.
100%.
More to come.
100%.
Rock Talk episode, I don't know what number, but it's been a great one. So see you next time.